winning the Champions League. It was the best moment for me.
I think for me, most important one, the biggest one, in the first Premier League title. That was the big one. But for me personally, I think that's the time first Premier League title is when my career has changed. I think when people consider me as someone who's actually playing on the top level.
But before, I know we're going to go on to other questions here, but what's that like?
And you always that question in your mind as a defender: should I go or stay? And I think that game in Rome was the longest game ever.
You confused? What? And how are you trying to rectify this problem?
End of the day, probably one of the best, if not the best club team ever.